I am quite frankly surprised that more alarm bells are not going off within the prepper community at this overreach of government authority during the supposed C virus crisis. And I'm referring to it as the C virus instead of its proper name, as the other video I did recently got sanctioned for saying the proper name in the video. And I want to make sure you get to see this video at all. I know it's in the title, but that can't be helped. But enough of that. On to the point. Schools are being closed, libraries are being closed, sporting events and conventions are being canceled. California has issued an edict that any church with a congregation larger than 250 must be shut down. Flights are being canceled. New Jersey is imposing a curfew. Walmart has announced they will be cutting their hours. There's talk of sealing state borders, and if that isn't enough, I've got friends who have cabins in the Tennessee mountains, bug-out locations if you will, who have been told that access may soon be cut off from the wooded areas, and they won't be able to get to their cabins. Why is that? And to add more to this point, there are now attempts in Illinois to temporarily ban ammunition sales because of the C virus, as a precaution. A precaution to what exactly? And just this weekend, even television personalities are beginning to be penalized for speaking contrary to the media's C virus agenda. Look up Trish Regan from Fox Business News for reference, as she's the first major personality to take a hit like this. All this has left me wondering why so many people are scared of a virus that for all intensive purposes is supposedly no more dangerous than the common flu, which claimed more than 60,000 lives in the United States last season, and roughly 500,000 lives annually on a global scale. And these quarantine measures are not just taking place in America, they're taking place in many different countries, as many as 80 right now. And remember, as far as the sheeple, they pretty much believe whatever they're told to believe anyways, or at the very least, they're used to doing what they're told without question. And without being able to congregate and meet publicly, they'll believe and or do whatever they're told, even more than usual. And if you want a solid example of just how easily the average person has already given into this, you need look no further than your local supermarket, convenience store, or big box store. I went out this weekend myself to look around. The shelves are bare. No toilet paper, no water, no beef or chicken, limited frozen foods, no hand soap, and lots of people walking around with dust masks or scarves over their mouths, which, as I'm sure you know, doesn't work. These people are scared. Why? Because they've been told to be scared. And so they are. And I sit here and I keep waiting for all the New World Order warnings from within the prepper community, and I'm not hearing it. Not really. Now, I'm not saying this is it, but at the very least, this C virus pandemic scare provides a golden opportunity for government to test the idea of shutting down entire communities, and in fact, entire countries altogether. An opportunity for not just our government, but for many governments to see just how much they can get away with before people start to resist. And there really isn't much in the way of resistance going on right now. People are afraid, and government knows it. The many governments of the world know that people are more prone to allow themselves to be manipulated by authorities if they are afraid than if they are not. And right now people are afraid of a virus that even if they catch it, likely won't even be affected unless they have unhealthy immune systems. The entire scenario bears the mark of organized governments isolating its people to begin exercising absolute power, and perhaps forming a global alliance of control, something that a lot of people have feared for many years. And I'm wondering where those voices are now. And if that isn't the case, if this isn't the endgame scenario, then like I said, it is a great opportunity for governments to test the waters and see just how much they can get away with before we start to push back. And as I've pointed out, there really isn't any resistance. Previously, I've used the Boston Marathon incident as an example when discussing this current situation. That incident gave the government an opportunity to experiment with locking down a major metropolitan area. They shut down businesses, blocked off streets, and searched door to door with SWAT teams, going through people's homes without warrants. Many people resisted. They were outraged because of the overreach of authority. They didn't necessarily fight back physically, but at the very least, they were quite vocal about it. But who's fighting now? How many people do you think would resist right now if groups of armed men in Tyvek suits showed up at the door and said, "Hey, we need a blood sample. We need to give you this shot. We need you to wear this armband when you go outside. And we're going to need you to not be outside after 6 p.m. anymore. Or, we need you to come with us. We need you to move your family to a FEMA-designated camp for your safety." You think it couldn't happen? To some degree, it already is happening. You think you are protected by your rights? What rights? You have no rights that can't be taken away with the right paperwork. And during a state of emergency, like a pandemic, for example, lawmakers can enforce any executive decisions they please. There is no need for a government to execute due process during an emergency. They can enact any law or order they wish and execute it immediately. And most people would not resist because they're all afraid of a phantom virus that is no more dangerous than any of the other viruses in the past that they tried to scare us with in the media, that came and went like a ship in the night. Or have we all forgotten about SARS and H1N1 and bird flu and swine flu and all the others so quickly? Why don't we learn? Only this time, they're treating us like a huge kindergarten class, leading us around by the hand, and most of us are falling for it. Either this disease is much worse than what we've been told, and they've already lost control, or this is the beginning of the New World Order, or this is a cooperative global government test to see just how much they can get away with while exercising their authority. An opportunity for governments to see if they really have the total control over populations that they have been so longing for, while presenting the illusion of big government, saving the people, protecting the willing masses. So why isn't anyone speaking out against these excessive measures? Or have the masses already reached the point where the people feel they can't resist, or shouldn't? Particularly from within the prepper community, who any other time, some of them would be screaming about the New World Order or the Illuminati already, but now seems to have lost its voice. Maybe the government already has the New World Order control that many have feared was coming, but realized it's already here. I can't say for sure what the agenda really is, but I think it should be obvious that there's something going on behind the scenes, and we should be prepared to be confronted by that event when it finally manifests itself, because it sure feels like we're being groomed for a police state. People, watch out. Watch out for curfews going into effect, and monitor interstate traffic, air travel, buses, trains, and ferries. When that's cut off, we could be in for it. Will this blow over without incident in a few weeks like nothing ever happened? Perhaps. But one thing is for sure, the powers that be now know how easily they can control mass populations of its citizens. What are your thoughts? I would love to hear what the community has to say about all of this. Please feel free to post your ideas in the comments section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you get where I'm coming from, and please do share this message if you think it's important, and subscribe if you are new. Remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of new content as it comes out. If you would like to help this channel out, there are links for that down below. I need all the help I can get, and I sure do appreciate it. Or, if there happens to be ads running on the video, perhaps you wouldn't mind just letting them run. They don't add up to much, but it's something, and you don't have to pay attention to them for them to work. So that being said, as always, stay frosty, folks, and thanks for listening.